Dickens. Do Dickens use stereotypes? A la Shmoop.
The word I would use in my head is actually caricature rather than stereotype, because stereotype implies that a lot of Dickens' characters were boring or kind of stock characters that he was just recycling, and that's not true. They were, however, really hyperbolic characters. I mean, they were very larger than life, kind of cartoonish, is maybe the language that we would use. So when somebody is bad, they're really bad, or when somebody is bumbling and funny, they're very much that. You don't see realistic characters in the way that we think of realistic characters. It's not quite what you're finding in Dickens. I think his notion of realism is a different notion than what we would use. I would say two of the ways, actually, in which Dickens most achieves this, and is most famous for achieving it, was very good at, was, first of all, physical description. Probably the guy with the hunchback and the bulging eye is the villain, that kind of thing. And the woman with the cream skin and the delicate features is the heroine. The other thing, besides physical description, was dialogue and dialect. Dickens was an absolute master at things like Cockney accents and elitist accents, and even just verbal tics that people might have that identify who's speaking. And so this is not surprising because of his background in theater, where voice is such an emphatic part of what you do. But also it's important to remember, going back to literacy and illiteracy, if you are a person who can't read and you must listen to Dickens novels, then one of the only ways you can distinguish who's talking is with those accents. It was a huge literary device that so many of his characters speak so distinctly that you know exactly who's speaking when they talk, and you don't need to see, Tom said or Sam said or something like that. You can tell from their dialect. So that was important for his characterization.
What is a stereotype and how did Dickens use them? What does hyperbolic mean? What techniques did Dickens use to convey his hyperbolic characters? Stereotype. Does anyone even know what a stereo is?